Here are my top 10 things that if you're not doing this for yourself in your 40s, it is going to affect you. It is going to hurt your confidence level because you guys know at this age and stage of life, it's difficult to get the energy to just sometimes do things for yourself. I'm sure this applies to all of you. Number one, I was in denial that I was in my 40s. I thought my 40s were going to be a little different. They can be amazing. They can be badass. They're whatever you make it to be. Because the changes were happening so quickly, the achy back, meeting readers, my skin was changing, my hair was changing. It was taking me longer to get ready in the morning. I was exhausted at the end of the day so much that even just taking a shower and washing my hair and drying it, I just didn't even want to do it anymore. Getting my nails done, going and sitting at the salon for 2 hours. I don't want to do any of those things anymore. That was the big first step for me, was accepting that I was changing, not just physically and mentally, but even just who I am, my likes, my dislikes, everything. I was struggling to let myself evolve. Number two, all of us women struggle with the ability to just take care of yourself. Everyone else would come first. As a mom, we just are constantly doing and doing for other people that it's not like we're trying to neglect ourselves. We are just such givers and we don't have boundaries to go, wait a minute, I don't need to do this for you anymore. You can start doing it for yourself. Learning how to let people do things for themselves. And then I don't need to have my hand in every little thing for you. Forcing even people in my family to handle their own problems, and stuff doesn't have to be the one that comes in and tries to save the day. Number three, comparing ourselves to where we thought we'd be at the stage in our life. I thought my life would look a little different than it does now. I guess more specifically with my business. I have allowed myself to take a back seat because being a mom is number one on my list. I have very few years before the kids are gone. And I know everyone's going to comment down below, especially the empty nesters. Yes, it goes by fast. I don't think I will ever look back on this time and think, man, I wish I would have really pushed myself harder with my business. Even though it's something that I'm choosing to do and I want to do it, it's still something that I struggle with because I am an achiever. I even have different ideas of different businesses that I want to start, but I don't want to do it right now. I guess allowing myself a pause and giving myself grace to be able to say, okay, I have plenty of time to do all these things. Even just comparing myself to other women. I think more so on social media, girls in their 20s are being fed to us. Don't get me wrong. I see way more women in their 40s and 50s doing videos, making channels, but they just sometimes don't get as much traction as a girl in her 20s. So we are fed this young, youthful body and skin. And then we're looking in the mirror and we're like, oh my God, I'm in my mid 40s and I don't look like that anymore. The fitness girls, I cannot watch a fitness anything. I cannot watch, this is what I eat in a day. If you have not had a baby and you're not going through perimenopause, we're not on the same page. We don't have the same body because you haven't gone through what I've gone through. Number four, I would like to think that we have worked on ourselves, but I will say because of all the changes that we're going through, the self-talk can start to diminish a little bit. We did all that work years ago to get out of that relationship, work on ourselves. We maybe got to a great place. And now I feel like life threw us a little curveball with being in our 40s, and it can start to diminish all of that work that we've put in on ourselves over those earlier years. So self-talk is important. We need to continue to work on it. We need to continue to learn how to parent ourselves during this phase of life. Number five, I don't scroll like I used to. I very much limit my social media, so much so that there are times, unless I'm working, of course, there are times where I'm just not on it. I don't find scrolling as fun as I used to. I don't find it as relaxing. I would rather be doing other things. Not only will that help you to figure out who you are and rediscover new hobbies, things that you like doing, things that relax you, things that motivate you, but it also just gets you out of the rat race of the endless scroll. Number six, I think every woman in her 40s needs to do this. I've realized the importance of it, and I give it to myself because I know I need it at this point, is rest. I need more rest at this age to do probably some of the normal things that I used to do very easily, probably because I had more energy, but I also think I was in survival mode and I was just doing so much all the time, so fast that hell, maybe we probably hit like a burnout point in our 40s that's why all of a sudden we need so much rest. I don't necessarily mean sleep because Tell me a woman in her 40s who's sleeping absolutely beautifully all the time. I don't know anyone that is, and I'm on HRT, and we'll talk about that later. I still wake up in the middle of the night to pee. I still wake up in the middle of the night, just, hi, I'm up. Thankfully, I can go back down. But I think just rest for me is allowing myself downtime, not feeling guilty for sitting on the couch and doing nothing and reading my book or going for a walk or sitting in my chair and having a cup of tea and just looking outside. This is how you know you're getting older, when the joys of just sitting outside and watching the birds or watching the trees is so fun and so relaxing to you that you've evolved. Number 7, and this is still something that's kind of evolving for me because I don't fully feel like I've evolved completely. I still feel like there's more change that's going to happen within me. Just finding new things that interest you. The things that interest me years ago just don't interest me anymore. I used to get a manicure and a pedicure. It was me time. I just loved being in the chair. It was relaxing. Now I have no interest driving to the nail salon and getting anything done. A pedicure every now and then is great. I love that, but I actually would rather stay home and just do my nails myself. Get my little show in front of me and just have some me time. To me, that is solid self-care. Whereas before, it looked like me going to the salon and doing it there. I used to get my hair done all the time, loved sitting in the chair. I'd have my little snacks, get my roots done. I can't even remember the last time I got my highlights done. No interest. Just figuring out who you are and what you like now. Randomly, I bought a book a few weeks ago and I genuinely ended up loving the book. So now I'm reading all the time, which I love to do. So I guess it's just about what are hobbies, what are things that you want to start incorporating in your life. The next thing, and I will tell you, here is the benefit of being in your 40s, is saying no now is so much easier than it was in my 20s. In my 30s, I said no and I had the excuse of Ryan for a lot of things. But in your 40s, I am perfectly comfortable and confident saying no. I'm going to turn down that request. I don't want to do that. I have no interest in participating here. No way, shape, or form. I am very much picking and choosing, and I'm very particular about who I'm with and where I spend my precious energy that I actually have on doing something. And I want to just sum this up with something that I really think that we forget sometimes. And I did it last night before I went to bed, before I started listening to my affirmations, which I still do every single night. And I'll tell you, if you are an overthinker, listening to a guided meditation is so incredibly helpful. Not only is it getting obviously into your subconscious mind while you're sleeping, and it's like feeding your mind with all those good thoughts that will help you to start reprogram yourself, but it also gives you something to focus on and listen to stop the chatter from happening. And that will help you to fall asleep even faster. But one of the things that I do every night before bed is I say my prayers and I say my gratitude list. I go through everything that I'm grateful for. I always start with our health, because that is really at the end of the day all we have, and just going through not just the general stuff that we're grateful for, but I try to be more specific to that day and the things that I got out of that day. It just helps put a smile on my face, asking for grace and trying to get some guidance to help you in this stage of life or the struggle that it is that you're going through. I think it's just important to have that kind of relationship and conversation with whatever you want to call it, God, source, universe, energy, it doesn't really matter. Or even just having a conversation with yourself and giving yourself a good self-parenting minute for you to remember like how amazing you are and how special you are and how far you've come and how excited you are for the future, just to keep yourself more in a healthier, positive mindset. I think that, of course, will help your confidence, but it will also help you to just enjoy life at the end of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Oh, before I forget, HRT. So just a little update, and I'm not advocating everyone does whatever works for them. I am on HRT. I'm on my 2nd month. I will say it took me a while to get acclimated with it. I actually started it last February, and the initial estrogen patch that she gave me was just way too high. So if you are a highly sensitive person, I highly recommend going to the lowest patch that you could possibly do. I'm on 0.025 of my estrogen patch, and I take 100 milligrams of progesterone every single night. Didn't love the progesterone in the beginning. Just felt like I'd had a couple glasses of wine. Now I've adjusted to it and I don't feel the effects of it so much. If you start taking anything, if you're a highly sensitive person and you feel the effects of something, just know that it's probably going to take you a little while for your body to adjust. But I don't feel the estrogen patch anymore at all. Will say I probably feel 70, maybe 80% better than what I was feeling before I started taking anything at all. A lot of my symptoms have subsided, my brain fog, my energy levels. I do sleep better, but I feel more rested in the morning, I should say, but I still wake up in the night, but I can go back to sleep. I would like to have more energy, motivation. I might look into testosterone over this next year. I am upping my patch to 0.0375. So I think most women start with 0.05. I didn't want to start with that, so I'm kind of easing my way. I am only 45 too, and just with that little amount, seeing the results that I've already seen, I feel hopeful that even going up over the years will continue to make me feel normal. I don't even want to say better, just like, can I just feel normal? I don't feel the extreme fatigue and real exhaustion that I have felt over the years. I have noticed in the last 2 months that I'm not as bloated as I used to be. It has helped in so many aspects: rage, anger, PMS. We're just going to keep going with it, but I'll keep you posted. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.